Weeks turned into months, and the young man's resolve remained steadfast. Despite the pleas and criticisms from friends and family, he stood by his decision to keep his wife out of their home. Every day was a struggle, balancing the demands of work with the responsibilities of single parenthood, but he refused to waver in his commitment to his children's well-being. As time passed, he found himself slowly healing from the pain of betrayal. The wounds left by his wife's infidelity still ached, but he discovered a newfound strength within himself, forged in the crucible of adversity. He threw himself into his work, pouring his heart and soul into his job as a means of distraction and escape. But no matter how busy he kept himself, thoughts of his wife lingered in the recesses of his mind. He couldn't shake the memories of their happier times together, the moments of laughter and love that now seemed like distant echoes. He wondered if she ever thought about their family, if she regretted the choices that had torn them apart. Meanwhile, his children adjusted to their new reality with remarkable resilience. They threw themselves into their studies and extracurricular activities, finding solace in the routines of school and play dates. Yet there were moments when the absence of their mother weighed heavily on them, like when his daughter tearfully confided in him about missing her mommy on her birthday, or when his son asked if they could visit her. These moments tore at the young man's heart, filling him with a sense of guilt and doubt. Was he being selfish by keeping his wife away from their children? Should he consider giving her another chance for the sake of their family? The questions haunted him, plaguing his thoughts day and night. One evening, as he sat alone in his living room, the weight of his loneliness pressing down on him like a heavy blanket, he heard a knock at the door. Surprised, he got up to answer it, wondering who could be visiting at such a late hour. To his astonishment, standing on his doorstep was his wife, her eyes red-rimmed with tears, her expression pleading. For a moment, he was speechless, unable to comprehend what was happening. Then, as if on autopilot, he stepped aside, allowing her to enter their home. She hesitated for a moment before crossing the threshold, her gaze darting around the familiar surroundings as if seeing them with fresh eyes. Without a word, they sat down on the couch, the silence stretching between them like an unbridgeable chasm. Finally, his wife spoke, her voice trembling with emotion as she poured out her heart, confessing her regrets and begging for forgiveness. She spoke of her struggles, her loneliness, her longing to be reunited with her family once more. As he listened to her words, the young man felt a whirlwind of conflicting emotions raging within him. Anger, resentment, hurt, all vied for dominance alongside a flicker of hope, a glimmer of the love that had once bound them together. He knew that forgiving her would not be easy, that rebuilding their shattered trust would take time and effort. But deep down, he also knew that he still loved her, that he yearned for the family they had once been. In the end, it was his children who provided the answer. They came running into the room, drawn by the sound of their mother's voice, their faces lighting up with joy at the sight of her. In that moment, as he watched them embrace their mother with unbridled affection, the young man knew that he couldn't deny them the chance to heal the wounds of the past, to rebuild their family from the ashes of their broken dreams. And so, with a heavy heart and a cautious optimism, he took his wife back into his arms, ready to embark on the long and arduous journey of forgiveness and reconciliation. It wouldn't be easy, he knew, but as long as they had each other and the love of their children to guide them, he was willing to face whatever challenges lay ahead, confident that they could overcome them together. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, the young man and his wife worked tirelessly to mend the rift between them. They attended counseling sessions, spoke openly and honestly about their fears and insecurities, and made a concerted effort to rebuild the trust that had been shattered by betrayal. Slowly but surely, their efforts began to bear fruit. The walls that had once divided them crumbled away, replaced by a newfound intimacy and understanding. They laughed together, cried together, and rediscovered the bond that had drawn them together in the first place. Their children, too, flourished in the wake of their parents' reconciliation. Freed from the burden of their parents' strife, they blossomed into happy, confident individuals, secure in the knowledge that they were loved unconditionally by both their mother and father. And so, as they gathered together as a family on a warm summer evening, watching the sun set over the horizon, the young man felt a profound sense of gratitude wash over him. Gratitude for the second chance he had been given, for the love that had endured despite the trials and tribulations they had faced, and for the bright future that lay ahead, filled with endless possibilities and boundless hope. In the end, he realized he wasn't a jerk for kicking his wife out of the house. He was simply a man who had been tested by fate and emerged stronger for it, ready to embrace whatever challenges life threw his way with courage and grace. And as he looked around at the smiling faces of his wife and children, he knew that, no matter what the future held, they would face it together, united in love and forgiveness.